So this is obviously the Keeway RKR, and it is a fully fed sports motorbike. Now this would be a direct competitor for something like the Lexmoto LXR, but there are a couple of things on this that I prefer personally to the LXR. Number one, it's a little bit lighter. It's about 20 kilos lighter than the LXR, which makes it so that the 0.2 horsepower it has more than the LXR actually makes it quite a lot faster. Now this does come with the free spark plug engine and also an extra gear, so that means that your cruising speed is going to be slightly better with less wear and tear on the engine and less stress, so you can get it up to the 65 miles an hour and cruise at that sort of speed without damaging the engine. The problem with the 6 gears is you do tend to lose a little bit of the lower down power because obviously the gear pattern is different. But me personally, I prefer this compared to the LXR. I think it's a lot more manoeuvrable and a lot more fun. Now one good thing about these bikes as well is they are made in conjunction with Benelli. So the people that make Benelli bikes also make this one as well, so their quality control is, say, slightly better than Lexmoto's quality control. Not Lexmoto, sorry, we'll say the factory that they come out of, whichever factory that might be. Keeway only use the one factory and all of their bikes come out of the Benelli factory, whereas Lexmoto use a conjunction of about 5 to 6 different types, different manufacturers, shall we say. I'm 5'9", I can't flat foot it on this bike with both feet down. I can obviously have one foot flat footed, but when you ride on a bike you're always supposed to be hovering over that rear brake anyway, so you're supposed to only have one foot down. What you'll find when you're a new rider is you're going to be bouncing between the 2 feet. It's just the way that it is. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. But when you get to a little bit more advanced or taking your full test, they do like you to hover over that back brake. All that means is when you're on a hill and they don't want you to hovering over the front brake, they want you to use the back brake when you're on the hill to stop you from rolling backwards. Now this bike does come with combined braking, which means that when you put your foot on the back brake, it sends 25% of the pressure to the front. All this means is they're trying to stop you from fully loading the front suspension and skidding that back tyre. They don't really want you to do that because they see it as you are losing control of your vehicle. I know that some people might do it for fun, but yeah, they class that as losing control. Now it does come with a analog rev counter, but it is a digital speedo. I know it's set in kilometers at the minute, but that can be changed. But I do have my trusty mobile phone with a GPS on it anyway, so for this test ride it doesn't matter, but when we do get back I will be changing it to miles per hour. This bike will be very good for a commuter bike and a fun bike. The only issue that I have with it is there is no back rack, and you can't get a back rack, so you're gonna have to carry a bag. It's alright carrying a bag. I've got one on at the minute because I've got all my camera gear in it. So at the minute I'm going at 51 miles an hour in 6th gear at 7,000 RPM. so it doesn't mind the 6th gear, sorry, and it's still pulling fairly well. It's not slowing down. These are definitely one of my favourite Chinese bikes at the minute. And while we're at it, I know it's a little bit off topic, but I'd just like to say big well done to SpaceX and Elon Musk for getting their Starship serial number 5 up and flying for that 150-meter hop. It might not seem that that's a big thing, but that is our first step to be able to colonize Mars. So I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to that sort of thing. I know it's a bit off topic, but there you go. So 60 miles an hour at 8,500 revs in 6th gear. It doesn't sound like it's overworking it much. What you've got to remember as well is when these bikes get a little bit older, the engine gets looser and they will go slightly faster. So yeah, usually on a Yamazaki for instance, I've just done a repair on one and a de-restrict, and that one had 3,500 miles on it. When the Yamazakis are brand new, they will do 43 miles an hour de-restricted. After they've done about 3,500 miles, that bike did actually do 50 miles an hour, so that's a big old difference when it comes to a small capacity motorbike.